Yesterday, EA dropped their campus huddle for Dynasty Mode in College Football 26, and I read through the whole thing from top to bottom. Guys, there is so much information in there. Some things are returning from last year, but they made a ton of changes, especially when it comes to coaching, recruiting, and roster management. So you need to listen up. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through every single detail. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want authentic college football content. I'm talking about recreated schemes, custom playbooks, archetype fits, and a whole lot more. After reading the blog, I must say I'm very excited. EA finally introduced more coaching gear. I'm talking about hoodies, long sleeves, sweater vests, quarter zips, windbreakers, etc. Guys, we no longer have to be stuck with the default polo, the bland zip up. Our coach looks modern now. He doesn't look like a high school PE substitute. I can hear the gripes already. We wanted player accessories. I get it. You wanted the hanging mouthpieces. You wanted the shiesties. You wanted these socks. You wanted this sleeve. Guys, it has to be one thing at a time. And I can honestly say for the longest, coaches have looked whack. They just look bland on the sideline. Also, you can still create your own coach and pick over 300 real life coaches and coordinators, each with their actual playbook schemes and stats. Their play calling will reflect their real life style. With that being said, Lane Kiffin is going to fake injuries. Coaching demeanor is in the game now. If you want a calm coach with his arms crossed like Dave Aranda on the sideline, just chilling, focusing, you can do that. Or you can have an animated, fiery demeanor, which your players will react to. They have distinct sideline stances based on reactions. Guys, your coach has a personality now. Progression has been overhauled. Level 50 came too fast in College Football 25. Pause. Now the cap is at 100. XP is tied to gold difficulty and frequency. So early on, you're going to level up fast. But as you rise, XP gets tougher. You have to earn it through sustained success. You have to be good over multiple seasons. Archetypes still matter, but they've been rebalanced. So let me explain it to you. Tactician now has the highest XP ceiling, but you are required to win games to capitalize on it. Motivators and recruiters are steadier but capped at lower levels. Tier scaling matters now. Higher tier archetypes like Elite Recruiter or CEO will give you more XP. Program Builder and CEO perks can give you up to 10 times the XP. Also, your coordinator perks are going to matter. If the coordinator has a perk that's activated during the game, your coach is going to get a bonus for that. So for example, the CEO perk, big game bonus, now gives over 12,000 XP for playoff wins. Talent developers, draft dividends adds an extra 3,000 XP per player you get drafted. So the progression is a lot slower, deeper, but it's way more strategic. It's no more let me get all these points and max out a certain archetype. Your coaching archetype can no longer be freely switched. Recruiter, motivator, and tactician now have level requirements. Early decisions will matter, and switching archetypes later is going to be costly unless you deepen your current one. Program Builder and CEO are the only exceptions to that. They are going to stay accessible once you unlock them. Plus, the Program Builder perk, friends and family discount will cut cost if your staff already has an archetype. So what that means is you might want to watch who you're hiring or who your assistants are. If they have a certain perk that you want and you have friends and family discount, you can now get that perk at a cheaper cost. The coach carousel finally got cleaned up. Oh, thank God about that one. So you now get real-time updates when coordinators accept, decline, or if you get them poached from you. New program builder perks will include Forever Home, which means your coordinators will stay longer. You can get Deal Sweetener, so you get better job acceptance rates if you're going out looking for coordinators, or Cream Up the Crop, which means you get higher quality hires. I truly love that one because a good example is if you're coaching at a small school and you truly want to build them up, this betters your chance to get a higher tier coordinator. Nobody wants to go to Eastern Michigan. Nobody wants to go to UL Lafayette, but now you're going to be able to sway those coordinators to come over there and help you out. So the offer logic is a little bit more realistic. Top teams get better opportunities. The staff move screen shows where every coach came from, where they're headed, and why. Here's another one you guys are going to be excited about for the nostalgia. The trophy room is back. We're talking about rivalry wins, trophies from bowls, Heisman's, any type of individual award. It's all going to be in the trophy room. And that's not just for Dynasty Mode. You'll get that from Play Now. You'll get it from Road to the Playoffs. Any game mode, Road to Glory, your trophies will be inside the trophy room. And I get it. That's a simple feature, but it gives every win more weight to it. It's going to have the stats It's going to have the scores. If it's an individual award, it'll have the player's name. You finally get to just collect everything and grind out the game. Okay, so let's get into the heart of Dynasty Mode, which is building your roster. Recruiting and player retention remain the lifeblood of your program, but still, EA took it a step further by making everything more dynamic. It's not just about signing the best class anymore. It's about keeping the players that you already have and developing them into a cohesive locker room. The transfer portal is no longer a predictable process. I can't tell you how many times that I knew Emory Jones from LSU was going to hop in the portal and I was going to have my tackle of the future. I'm pretty sure it was a particular player for y'all that y'all knew after 1 year or 2 years, they were going to jump in the portal. There's now a steady pool of about 2,000 players, and star ratings aren't just about overall anymore. A true freshman quarterback with an 85 might be rated higher than a senior guard with the same number because he has more room for growth. EA also introduced deal breakers and core expectations that every player has. So that includes that includes recruits and guys currently on your team. Playing time, exposure, conference prestige. If you don't meet their priority, they will more than likely leave your team. Some players are going to be more loyal than others, and some of them are going to want the spotlight. So it forces you to think like a real coach and figure out how to manage your roster. Best example I can give is if you had that 3-star player that seemed like he was okay and now he turned out to be a big shot, he's going to crave the spotlight. He's going to crave going to the SEC or just somewhere where he can get on the field and truly show his talents. Also, dynamic deal breakers. So breakout stars, like I just said, they may suddenly want bigger stages or quote unquote NIL type exposure. Although NIL was not in the game, this is a way EA has incorporated it to make it feel like it's there. And that's going to be more common in what you call glamour positions, a quarterback, a running back, an edge, those big time positions that take over the game. Those guys are going to have more of an ego to them. But luckily we have tools to counteract that. So there's a perk called Lower the Bar, and there's another one called Family Atmosphere. Both of those are going to make it easier for players to be retained. So if they leave, there's another perk called Gift of Gab or Roster Retainer that'll give you more chances to pull them back. So while you do have a chance to lose them, you have a chance to retain them. And these are what these skill points are going to play into. You can make a certain type of coach, but you got to make sure you're able to recruit and keep players on your team. But it depends on how you want to build your program. Are you going to build out of the transfer portal? Or are you going to be mainly a recruiter? Or are you going to have a balance? So that just adds some more realism to the game. It's fully up to you. One that I truly love is the fact that your school identity matters more now. So the grading curve got tightened up. So it's fewer schools with A's and B's, and most schools are going to sit around a C or a D in certain spots. Pro potential now tracks to the last 4 years of draft success. So it's going to be broken down by position. So if there's a wide receiver that you really want, my bad guys, I'm getting tongue tied. Who do you think is wide receiver you in the last 4 years? It's going to be LSU more than likely, but it got a chance it can be Ohio State or Alabama. So those last 4 years of success is going to tie into pro potential. So instead of focusing solely on sacks or interceptions, the game will now consider statistics such as yards allowed or pass defense. It's going to be a more accurate reflection of how your team plays, and that will influence if a recruit really want to go there or not. Also, the geography, the landscape is more realistic. The campus visits as far as recruiting are now based by distance. So a local guy might only cost 10 hours to visit versus a 5-star from the other side of the country. It'll still run you about 40 hours. So this change is going to force you to think week to week with your time. You might not want a whole bunch of guys way from out of your recruiting zone come and visit at the same time. You might want to do 3 local guys and maybe 2 from far away. It just depends on how many points you got and how you want to do it. Maybe you want to recruit more locally. Like, once again, I'm an LSU fan. We have to lock down the boot. It's a lot of talent here. So you might not want to be going far, risking chances on these guys and miss the ones right there in your backyard. And that's also going to be synergy with coaching perks. The CEO perk has something called More the Merrier, and that lets you host 8 recruits instead of 4. How many times did you want all these guys to visit and you had to pick and choose which ones you wanted to come in on a visit? And we already know, depending on who you bring in, that's going to give you a boost on whether they commit or not, or just add more interest to your school. Now, if you get that perk, dude, you have 8 visiting at once, so you can really lock it down and get all those guys to come in as a collective squad. Something I really didn't take advantage of in College Football 25 because I didn't feel like it mattered is scouting. They cleaned that up big time. So in College Football 25, the ratings displayed differently based on archetype, so making comparisons between the players was a bit of a challenge. Now the traits are going to show up in the same spot across the board. So now you get to evaluate who fits your system better, who's faster, who's stronger. Also, Mind Reader got a huge buff. You don't no longer need to wait for visits to see development traits. If you have it unlocked, you can now see those traits during regular scouting, and that's going to give you a big edge if you want to see guys that develop over time, or if you're looking for an impact star right away. Recruiting battles were added for tight races. I can't tell you how many times I raged out and quit dynasties, not online but offline, because I was so close as a smaller school between winning a recruiting battle. However, it was just always random at the end. It might look like you're going to win and then you lose. I lost them more times than I won them. Now, if two schools reach the commitment threshold simultaneously, the player doesn't just pick randomly. A final push is going to be triggered. The recruit will set the bar a little bit higher, and now whatever school crosses that threshold first, they will win the recruiting battle. That is so much more realistic. And the best thing about that is that you don't necessarily have to worry about missing out on too many 5-stars now, because they expanded the recruit pool to over 4,000. They made top tier prospects more rare, especially at the athlete position. So if you land a gem, it's really going to feel like you got a superstar. The deal breakers hit a lot more harder now. NIL exposure matters for glamour positions. So once again, if you want that star quarterback or DN or a big shot wide receiver, you can't just guess at what the recruit want by looking at their profile like we was figuring out this year. You really have to dig in there and scout them. My bad, guys. I got a lot of information and I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm getting excited about this. The body types got tweaked a little bit. So now the high school players, they'll look more like freshmen. There are new lean builds mostly for the wide receivers, and the players will grow into their frames each year. You're going to see them get a little bit bigger, put on 5 pounds or whatever. Another thing with the recruiting is the sway. I think I used sway maybe twice last year. I didn't really understand it. So now sway is probably going to be the most slept on tool in the game, is what they're saying. When your school doesn't match a recruit's ideal pitch, you can now try to sway them to something you're actually strong in. So if it works, more than likely it's going to add a second ideal pitch and sometimes even a third. So your success odds, it depends on how closely the pitches align. So you're not going to be able to change all three, but if you can change it to something where you at least got one pitch that they're interested in, it's a better chance of it being, successful. Also, there's something called persuasive personality in the recruiter archetype. So that'll increase the chances of you being able to sway guys to come to your school. So one huge improvement on the UI side of things is that team needs will now be pinned to the top of the prospect list, and it's going to update in real time. Now, as far as that adding somebody to the board or them actually committing, I don't know. Also, the recruiting board will now show arrows to track whether you're rising or falling on a player's list. You can now double tap triangle or Y to favorite key recruits and filter down to see them only. They even added a couple of advanced filters so you can now sort by star rating. Now, remember last year, it was like minimum star rating or something like that, or max. And now they did vice versa. So like, let's say if you only want to see 3 stars because you don't have a chance of getting a 4 or 5, you can do that. They added filters for pipeline level and recruiting stage. So it makes it a lot easier to find the exact type of player you want to build your program around. I know like towards the end of the year, when I can't fill out my board, I want to filter and see the guys that are still open, that haven't made up their mind, and you might have a shot. Sometimes I found 4 stars that were still open at the very end and they don't have any interest and they're just free for the taking. Those filters are going to allow you to do that so you can fill out your classes. You still go through coach carousel, player departures, transfers, recruiting, training, position changes, but now every stage has a little bit more context and you get decisions. Training and player progression now is going to reflect everything that happened over the year. Injuries, snap counts, red shirts, breakout years. If a guy played through fatigue and he got smashed up pretty good, his offseason jump has a possibility to be a lot smaller. A redshirt freshman who you manage well, like let him play a couple of games but didn't lose his redshirt, he got a good chance at making a big jump in his ratings. Wear and tear carries, that it all matters, guys. Position changes allow you to shift players around from wide receiver to tight end, safety to linebacker, or tackle to guard. Ratings going to adjust accordingly, and now you're going to see suggestions based on physical traits and team needs. So it's not just a tool for moving players, it's more of like roster management. One thing that is way cool is that now recruits are going to be generated based on your team's history, play style and scheme, guys. So like if you've been running a power run offense, or like let's say you use one of my playbooks and you're using the ghost spread. So you want an athlete quarterback, you want fast receivers, you want a good offensive line, just something like that. The game is going to start generating more recruits that fit your mold. You're going to start seeing more particular players from your pipeline states or whatever archetypes you've been recruiting that fit your tendencies and system. You're going to see a lot more to make it easier to recruit for your system. So here's the thing. If you're going to commit to a system like a spread or whatever, or a power spread or an option offense, the recruits are going to start being generated to mirror your style. And you're going to have to constantly keep recruiting them. So just imagine if you don't stick to it and you're one of them people that change offenses every year, you're not going to see more of the recruits that fit your system. And from what I've been hearing, the archetypes are really going to matter for what type of playbook you want to run. Someone made a comment as far as that the better archetypes you got that fit within that system, the better the system is going to run. Like it's no more just, okay, I'm that good with the game, I'm good with these plays, it works. No, everything has to be cohesive. Everything has to fit. And team prestige also plays into this. If you win and produce more NFL talent, your school's reputation is going to grow. You're going to draw better talent. And sometimes you won't even have to make pitches. Guys are just going to be naturally drawn to your school. That's how it is. When Nick Saban came to Bama and they started building, he started getting all the recruits. That's what happens. You build a culture, you build a dynasty, the guys will go to it. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more detailed, EA looked at stat tracking to make it more meaningful. So when you recruit a player, his expectations are going to be shaped by your previous usage at that position. So let's say if you had a year or 3 straight years of a running back like Derrick Henry, and he's getting carries, over 200 carries, he's a workhorse, he don't share the backfield, don't be surprised when you get the new running back and he want the same workload. So now it's like a full system. Hey, I came here because I was going to be the number 1 running back and get all the carries. Or, hey, I came here because I was going to be the number 1 receiver. Hey, I came here because your last receiver won the Heisman. You let him run the ball. You let him play quarterback and wildcat. You let him do kick return and punt return. How come I'm not getting that? So based on how you run your program, your offense, your defense, just the style of your team, those are the type of players and athletes you're going to attract, dog. It's not just about building a team no more. You're truly a CEO. It's about building a culture. Okay, let's talk about wear and tear right quick. We had a lot of ups and downs with this. I was feeling the wear and tear when they first introduced it, but as the year went on, I started getting tired of it because I began looking like Tom Thibodeau. So now the wear and tear is really going to make you think about how you use your players. It's not just about injuries no more. It's about how your players are responding over time, how their bodies hold up, just like in real life. Every hit they take is going to add up. And not all the players are created equally. Some of them have better durability. Some of them are better to absorb contact and dish it out. Some of them had a better injury rate, just like it is in real life. You best believe those bigger body players, especially running backs, they're going to fare better at it. So now each player has 2 health pools, one for the season and one for his entire career. So each time a player is recovering from damage, that bar goes a little bit more back up. Matter of fact, think about it on the UFC games. You had like a career damage bar. And once it got up too high, more than likely you were going to have to retire or you get hurt easier in the fights. Once they run out of season health, they can't get better until the offseason. So, of course, they expanded the teams. You know, everybody going to start their dynasty with Missouri State and Delaware. One of the cooler things is they went a little bit deeper with the history. We now have a college football history hub, and that's going to keep stats and records all the way from 1869. We're talking about national champions, conference champions, award winners, and a lot more. And you can filter that by team or conference. Guys, there's so many more things in this blog that we can talk about. The custom conferences, protected opponents. So even if you change the conferences up, you can have 1 and 2 protected rivalries that never change. So like, let's just say something stupid like Ohio State went to the SEC. They can still play Michigan every year. And now we have the actual college football playoff format that's going to happen in real life. They did a lot of changes to that, reflecting the college football playoff formula, so we don't just have random teams getting in with 3 losses. Also, we got cross-play dynasty, guys. We got dynamic time of day. Up-tempo teams now run more plays in Super Sim. Some of you guys like the Super Sim dynasties, so whatever the team does, the stats from those Super Sims will reflect it. When a player breaks a record, the game is going to give you a full screen to celebrate it. Coordinators now have stats. Guys, it's just so much more that they've done to this game. If you're still complaining about it, I really don't know what to tell you. EA went all out. If y'all gonna cry just because y'all didn't get the accessories, then go do it in the corner. Hey, but if you made it this far, go ahead, hit the like button, drop a comment, and let me know what feature you're excited about the most or what school you're starting a dynasty with. If you haven't checked out my special announcement, you need to go follow me on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at DuceSenpai. Let me know what school you're starting your dynasty with because we starting with the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, baby. Ruston, Louisiana. If you want more in-depth content, offensive breakdowns, custom schemes, archetype guides, all of that, make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you're looking for a place to hang out that's all about a good time, sports, anime, and much more, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/DuceSenpai_. Make sure you stay locked in, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.